Here is the starting lineup, where Newman will share the front row, his Dodge alongside Chevrolet's Jeff Gordon, and Matt Kenseth's Ford with Casey Kane's Dodge. And as you look at the starting grid, there's Jimmie Johnson trying to repeat, and his young teammate Kyle Busch. Let's go back down to pit road. Matt Yoakum.
Mike, 11 years ago today, Jeff Gordon started from the front row here in the Coca-Cola 600 and scored his first career Nextel Cup Series victory. He hopes for the same good fortunes again tonight. He's already won one of NASCAR's crown jewel events this season, the Daytona 500. The last time he scored a 500 and a 600 win in the same year, 1997. But Gordon fought a balance issue during much of the final practice session. They feel like they hit upon it right at the end, but a bigger concern for Gordon and the rest of the field here today is weather. It's a major concern whether we'll go 400, 500, or 600 miles this evening. Now to the editor of Speedway Illustrated, Dr. Dick Berger.
Oh, you want a young rookie driver to cheer for? Got one for you. His name is Kyle Busch. He's from Las Vegas, Nevada. He is 20 years old, and my, he is ever so good. Last weekend here at Lowes Motor Speedway, they had a Craftsman truck race. Kid won it. Last night they had a Busch race here. The kid won it. Talked to him just a few moments ago. He said the car he's in right now is every bit as good as the car he won with last night. Car number 5, Kyle Busch, a rookie, could win here tonight, Mike Joy.
Thanks, Dick. Bobby Labonte goes to the rear. He has changed the transmission on his car since qualifying and practice. Here's tonight's weather.
And there you see 77 degrees. It feels more than 45% humidity. Wind not really an issue. Cloudy, not sunny at all. And what that's going to do, especially at the early part of the race, it's going to make the speeds go up there in a hurry.
Now, if you look at that front row, it may look odd because pole sitter Ryan Newman is up on the outside.
The same thing that Mike Bliss did in the Nextel Open last week. Matt Bourne, his crew chief Ryan Newman, on Thursday said, we had no idea we had that option, but the second groove has been definitely the quicker groove.
So lane choice for the pole sitter. Newman's on the outside. We're going to let the first lap run silent tonight in honor of all of our U.S. servicemen throughout history. But first,
DW, 600 miles. Let's have a Sunday night party. Reach up there and pull those belts tight one more time.
All right, all right. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys.
Jeff Gordon did not get a good start, but rebounded quickly. He settles in third behind Ryan Newman and Casey Kane.
And that's something we want to keep an eye on every restart, because spinning the tires, bad restarts here are so frequent.
See Matt Kenseth there in that 17 car. Actually, we're riding right now with Tony Stewart, the 20. But just to talk about Matt Kenseth in the 17, qualified third. He had a crash in practice yesterday. Those guys worked till about 10:30 last night, came in early this morning, did not want to give up that third place starting spot and go to a backup car.
Jimmie Johnson and Tony Stewart on the move, both in the inside groove, heading for turn 3. Johnson trying to take 5th, Stewart going after 8th place, the 20.
Matt Kenseth in the 17 did the crossover move on Jimmie Johnson in the 48 coming off turn 4.
Now, one place we'll want to watch tonight is right here as these cars go down into turn 1. The car on the bottom has been getting loose and sliding up into the car on the outside. The 17 easily can get into the 48 as they run side by side. Going into turn 1, it's been a real trouble spot.
Johnson trying to three-peat here. Nobody's done that in the Coke 600 as he moves past a fading Casey Kane.
Back around to 41, which is the middle post.
That's someone's spotter talking about Casey Mears, who's in 21st right now. As he said, mid-pack, possibly leaking some fluid.
Jeff Gordon has settled in second. Matt?
Gordon didn't say anything on the radio about the start, Mike, but he did say that the car is tight. Now, he was surprised by that handling characteristics where it just won't turn like he wants it to in the center of the corner. The car was loose during most of the practice session, like we mentioned earlier. It took him both sessions to get comfortable. Robbie Loomis told him, just take it easy, settle in, it will come back to you.
But, Matt, I think the reason that the car is tighter, and here we see Mark Truex Jr. in the one car up against the wall, caution is out.
He just went into first turn, and, man, it's so hard to get into turn one. They've done some repair work on that corner down there on Friday night, and, man, that turn is slick.
And, Darrell, it doesn't seem to matter. In the Busch race, it bit experienced drivers and rookies alike, new tires, worn tires, heavy load of fuel, light load of fuel, it didn't matter.
Well, it's part of the unpredictability that we keep talking about. As you see, he goes in there high, he gets a little bit loose, and when you get up that high, there's done a lot of work down there, but there's not any grip when you get that high.
I talked to his crew chief this morning, Kevin Bono-Mannion. He said, you know what, this is our third start this year. We have failed to finish the other two. We just want to see the checkered flag at the end of the 600 miles.
The reigning Busch Series champion brings out the first caution of the day in Concord, North Carolina. They waved the green flag 1 lap ago. Kyle Busch took off from Jeff Gordon. Bobby Labonte was the first car on the inside trying to get back on the lead lap unsuccessfully. Dale Jr. right behind him. So it's the 4 Hendrick cars out front once again. Busch, Gordon, Johnson, and Vickers. But the big winner, Larry, on those pit stops, Greg Biffle.
Yeah, he came in about 7th or 8th, and those guys got out 5th, and right now he's running 5th there, the 16 car. He had one of the fastest times on pit road, including the pit stop, but right now he has his hands full of that yellow car back there, the 77 car, Travis Quappler.
Our Quaker State pit summary shows how everyone came in and went off pit road. Jeff Gordon lining up Kyle Busch, and then they go back into the corner, single file once again. Dick Bergman.
Well, before the pit stop, Mike, Kyle Busch was concerned about his car at the beginning of a run. He came on the radio just moments ago with another war whoop. That's a good sign for his fans, and he said that they got it right on that pit stop. What they do have a problem with, however, is ignition. He has tried both boxes. They are concerned about it because at one point the engine just shut off. They switched boxes, got it going again, but that's a worrisome thing in a race of this length.
Trouble turn 2, back straightaway, big pileup. Scott Riggs is in it. Jimmy Spencer backs it into the wall. Robbie Gordon was right in the center of things. And caution is out for the 4th time today at lap 100.
This will be a huge break for Bobby Labonte, the 18 car. He will get the free pass. He'll be back on the lead lap to see Mike Skinner in the 23 car
Something
involved
happened
in this crash as well.
Well, I think something happened to Skinner's car, and he slowed in front of these guys, and somebody ran into the back of several cars. I think Skinner had a problem over off of 2.
A lot of smoke out the tailpipes of Mike Skinner's car as the Automaniac Dodge heads for the garage.
You can see it coming out of the exhaust pipes.
I think Skinner blew up in front of those guys, and that's what started that whole thing.
And of course, everyone's on fresh tires. They're on the gas, they're on the throttle, and
You see
it right there coming out the right side.
Robbie Gordon, I think he got the boot from Michael Waltrip as they tried to slow up.
I think Michael turned him around, but you can see all that oil in the turn there too.
I'll show it to you from Michael Waltrip's bumper.
Still lined up on the bottom of that 43. Big hole behind him right there. Above.
Whoa.
Come on around. How hard's the front end?
Scott,
It's bad. Bad. Really bad.
The leader comes on to the pits almost by
He's got
himself.
a flat right rear tire.
Matt's there.
As Gordon pulls to a stop, a looky break, you can see the right rear tire going down. As they index and hit the lugs on that right side, 4-tire change for Gordon. He also told Robbie Loomis the car is already almost too free. Don't get too aggressive on your adjustments.
Casey Kane is in. Kenny Schrader, Mike Bliss, Kevin Harvick. Here's Dick at Harvick's pit.
Well, they're working on the left front of Harvick's car, Mike, and right behind him is Michael Waltrip, and the nose of Waltrip's car is well pushed in. Hammer being applied to the left front fender of Harvick's car, trying to get it pushed out. Aero is ever so important here at Lowes Motor Speedway, given the speeds that they run here. Doing the same to Michael's car, trying to get the nose of that car squared away so he can get some speed out of it.
Tony Stewart, Terry Labonte, and Dave Blaney also made pit stops. So did Scott Riggs, who was involved in the accident.
What a huge break, though, for Jeff Gordon. That 24 car have a right rear going down and catches a caution.
What Richard Petty often say, I'd rather be lucky than good any day. Tonight, we'll see who's both.
Get you caught up to date with how it's gone so far in this marathon run of the Coca-Cola 600. Kurt Busch, inside of the first 10 laps, was running 28th at the time. Out of the race, was able to come back in, but was 70 laps down when he did. Another caution out in turn 2. Mike Skinner loses an engine in the 23 car. Jimmy Spencer, Robbie Gordon, Scott Riggs, and Michael Waltrip all caught up in that. Jeff Gordon already adventurous. Part of the track causing some problems. At one time he led in the race. They had to repair the car, fix part of the track, some of the rubber coming up for him to get back into the race. Elliott Sadler, meanwhile, one of the favorites coming into this race, losing it and spinning. This allowed Dale Earnhardt Jr. to get his lap back. He'd gone a lap down earlier in the race, has not really contended. And then moments ago, Kurt Busch once again with that repaired car and the frustration for the points champ as he is out of the race. As Kurt Busch out of the race, Ryan Vickers, your leader, Ryan Newman right behind him. Mike?
Kurt Busch will join Johnny Sauter, Mike Skinner, Jimmy Spencer in the garage area. There are 39 cars running. 32 of them are on the lead lap as we get set to restart. We're about 50 miles from the halfway point of this race.
And the top 10 cars stayed out that time, which would include Michael Waltrip in the 15 and Dale Earnhardt Jr. in 9th. Those guys are in the top 10 by virtue of staying out under that caution.
Vickers gets a good jump off turn 2. Greg Biffle, the third place car, seemed to have held up the pack just a bit there between 1 and 2.
Yeah, he couldn't get off the 2 over there at all. I don't know if he had a problem, but it's going now. Talking about the 16 car of Biffle. Could have got it held up by one of those lap cars.
Riding with Jeff Burton a lap down there. And Kyle Busch trying to fight his way through traffic, Dick, but right now he's in 13th.
He did not get all he wanted on that last pit stop, Mike. He has told the crew he's hungry. He wants something to eat. They suggested some sort of a protein drink, and he's talking about really maybe a hot dog, something to make him feel a little bit better out there.
Now, Mike, one of the things that you got to realize about this race, kid run 300 miles last night, drove his heart out last night. Here he is. He got to run 600 miles tonight. Easy to dehydrate, easy to really get tired.
Of all the athlete fitness regimens I've ever read, hot dog wasn't on any of those lists.
No.
But if that's what he wants, that's probably what he'll get.
Well, I asked for a goodie one time. I was talking about a goodie headache powder, and they gave me a Pop-Tart, so see how it works out for him.
Jimmie Johnson on the bottom in 48. Tony Stewart and Mark Martin and Ricky Rudd trying to come back up through, along with Travis Kvapil in that bright yellow Kodak car.
And all these are cars that made pit stops on that last caution, put them back in the pack. You can hear Ricky having to play with the throttle. I think the biggest reason is there was nowhere to go. He had to roll out of the throttle.
I'll tell you, that 2 car, they made a good turnaround on that thing, Larry, because he was absolutely the slowest car out there at one time, and now here he is up there running in the 6th spot. How about it, Matty?
DW, Larry Carter told me last year they started the car on the loose side. They got a lap down early and could never recover. They started tonight on the tight side, then they pulled a spring rubber, and then they put a spring rubber in the right rear, then the car went bad loose, and they spent the entire evening trying to recover. You can see how he's moved his way back up. Lap 171 up to 6. They feel like they have the car where they need it balance-wise. You see a lot of congestion there with a 45 and Junior.
Well, Junior got himself in a bad spot. He got stuck in the middle in turn 2. Cars streamed by on either side because he got boxed in behind Kyle Petty.
Kyle Petty got one that's in trouble.
Got stuck on the bottom, and Junior just lost 9 spots by trying to be careful.
Kyle Petty was just all over. I think he may have a problem with his car.
Watch this, Darrell, in turns 1 and 2.
See Kyle Petty, the 45 car, stacks him up, and he gets caught in the middle.
Yeah,
See, Jimmie Johnson in the 48 almost runs over him.
I think Kyle just got himself out of kilter there and couldn't get back in.
But how we made it through that lap without having a caution is a miracle.
14th place. These are two of the drivers who likely will be fighting for the win at the end of 600 miles, Stewart and Johnson.
And they're on the agenda pretty much every time the caution comes out for the most part. They're coming to pit road. They're doing 4 tires. They're staying on that agenda right now here early in the race.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. got a free pass to get his number 8 back on the lead lap. And then during the caution flag, talked it over with crew chief Steve Neal.
Right here, rubber.
All right. These are your best laps right here, June. Doing good.
I mean, I'm not trying to change your opinion. You just tell me what you want to do, and we'll do it. But the last couple changes have been right rear, and they've been working.
All I know is that audio is different audio from what we heard in the first 11 or 12 races with Dale Earnhardt Jr. I see a little better, possibly, communication there.
But what I see is a driver that may have been called on the carpet, too. But look, we're going to give you another crew chief. We're going to work with you on this deal, but you're going to have to help out a little bit yourself.
I would say you're right.
Why do they need to make that change? Look at this comparison to last year for Dale Earnhardt Jr. 3 wins to a goose egg, 8 top 10s to 5, and look how few laps he's led this year.
You know, one of the mistakes that you make sometimes is you take leaders and try to make them followers, and you take followers and try to make them leaders. And I think that may be what happened in that case.
And the amazing thing about only 5 laps led, remember, we've been to Daytona once and we've been to Talladega once.
There's a test you take to determine that. One of those personality test things.
Larry and DW just watched the 8-car Dale Earnhardt Jr. make his way around this racetrack, looking like he's made some significant gains since the start of the race. But Larry, you brought out a point about people being on agenda and coming in and putting on 4 tires. Think about it like this. You put on 2 tires, give that car a different feel, all of a sudden your driver's giving you different information. So when you do go back and put 4 tires, you made the wrong adjustment. So you've got to be careful not to trick yourself early in the race on what the car's really doing. So sticking to an agenda and doing the same thing every time will help kind of set up a pattern where you can make the right adjustments as the night goes on.
Yeah, there's no question. This is one of those racetracks where if you just change 2 right side tires, the car may still be fast, but it will drive a little bit different. Kyle Busch in the 5 car trying to work his way back into the top 10 as he battled Jamie McMurray in the 42 for 11.
And I think what guys do, they look at the track and say, well, it looks the same as it always did, but it drives totally different because of the grinding that's been done on it.
10th place battle, Scott Riggs, McMurray in the 42, and Kyle Busch, 10th, 11th, 12th. Time for our next singular virtual crew chief question. What's more grueling, 600 miles at Charlotte or 500 laps at the High Bank Bristol Motor Speedway? Text the word crew to 191 from your singular wireless phone or go to foxsports.com. Enter for a chance to drive away in your own singular number 31 and answer the question. Darrell, you've won both places.
Well, the difference is that all the cautions you have at Bristol, that kind of saves you from wearing out or being fatigued. Here it's pretty hard, fast racing all night long. I'd say this joint's pretty tough.
You know what? Scott Wimmer, the 22 car, remember, he got his lap back the hard way earlier. Now, they pulled a little strategy. They stayed out. But here's a guy that's running up to the top 10, something that we've not been able to say a lot this year, and he has stayed there since that last caution. Scott Wimmer in the Caterpillar 22 car.
Dick has more.
And Wimmer has just radioed his crew mic and told them the car is the best it has been all night. The 22 car looking pretty stout right now.
I think he might want to say the best it's been all year, Dick.
Yeah, considering his best finish this year has been 16th back at Fontana, California. Second race of the year.
Brian Vickers out in front by 0.6 of a second. Ryan Newman is second. Greg Biffle is third. Jeremy Mayfield fourth. Kevin Harvick fifth. There is 3 seconds from first to fifth as you watch from the Goodyear blimp. In fact, the first dozen or so are pretty well spread out around the racetrack. The track has taken on kind of a green flag look to it. Best battle on the track, Jamie McMurray and Jimmie Johnson coming past the start-finish line now. Now that is for 12th place. Johnson, as you ride with him in the Lowes Chevrolet, he keeps having a look, but he's not able to pull alongside Jamie.
You know, a car I think that has definitely made some adjustments, and they've gotten that car a lot better. Chris Andrews, the crew chief, Bill Elliott in the 91 car. He qualified back in 27th. He went a lap down very early, but right now he's in the 4th position on the racetrack a lap down. He'd love to see a caution right now as he runs out in front of his teammate Jeremy Mayfield in the 19. They definitely have made this 19 car a whole lot better too as well. Slugger Labby, the crew chief.
Big race for 12.
Clear high. Clear high.
Clearing Jimmie Johnson as Mark Martin moves through.
Good job, Jimmy.
Between them, those two drivers have won the last 3 Coke 600s. And Jeff Gordon comes up to battle with them.
I think Gordon has finally gotten himself kind of out of all that traffic back there. Working on a one-on-one now. He's working on Mark Martin next. And his car seems to be working pretty good like that.
You know, we've been talking about comers and goers. We've been talking about cars that run good out front but struggle in traffic. Travis Quappel, he was leading this race not that long ago. Now he's back in the 25th position, and he continues to lose spots. So that car is not very good in traffic right now.
Seems to be the kind of the way all these cars are.
Rusty Wallace moves into the top 5 with that pass of Kevin Harvick. '21-year-old Brian Vickers, native of Thomasville, North Carolina, out in front of Ryan Newman at 187 laps. Green flag and Casey Kane, the circuit's most recent winner at Richmond, is the new leader.
He's the only car on the lead lap that elected to stay out. He was last on pit road at lap 267 about 25 laps ago.
I think he's just glad to see nothing in front of him for a change, because I believe this is the first time he's been in the lead tonight.
But we are almost back where we started this race with 3 Hendrick cars up there, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. It went away from him. It's came back to him now.
You're right, Darrell. It's the first time he's led under green. He stayed out under caution to lead a lap and pitted late. Watching from Kevin Harvick, the 7th place car.
The thing about Casey Kane, if you think back to the race last fall here, had the best car here. Think of the Busch race last night, had the best car here, just has the worst luck.
And we did get a report there was no spark plug wire issues, anything like that on the 21 car. That motor is going sour here with just a little over 100 laps to go.
Casey Kane, Jeff Gordon, Brian Vickers, Jimmie Johnson, 3 of the Hendrick cars running 2, 3, and 4. Their teammate, the senior member of that team, 2-time champ Terry Labonte, went out of this race in the lap 245 crash that Dale Jr. initiated. Labonte is awake and alert, but Terry has been taken to a local hospital for observation.
How about this 42 car? Look at the back of this car. He is still on the lead lap. He has spun out twice. It looked like possibly that car was not even going to be able to repair, I think they've made that car better. He's up there in 13th position right now. This is definitely a case of never give up.
Yeah, and I think if you notice that rear blade, they got it jacked back up there where it belongs, and now he can drive the thing. Boy, Jeff Gordon is being swarmed up here. Golly, 25 went by on one side, the 48 was trying to go by on the other.
All teammates right there, second, third, and fourth.
But they were being nice to each other.
Well, Brian Vickers, I mean, he's trying to get as far as he can, as fast as he can. He hasn't won this race a couple of times like his teammates Gordon and Johnson have.
Mike, just a little while ago, we had a caution when we saw a piece of debris that was part of the side skirt come off, I believe, the 24 car. If it's the right side skirt, Larry McReynolds, it could affect the handle of this race car. The longer he runs, it lets more air up underneath the right side of the car and will not make it go around these turns like you really like them to.
Yeah, that's put on there as far as the package that NASCAR puts on them to keep them on the ground when they spin out, but it can also be an aero advantage. Right now, the fastest car is his teammate, Brian Vickers, in that 25 car.
Right, Larry, certainly the 24 was the car that kicked that piece of debris up and into the air that brought the caution out. Whether it came from his car or not, we're not sure.
Tony Stewart had a moment over there. Watch this. He gets alongside of the 0 car and yo. That's
how many times have we seen that over there?
298 times.
And 0 has just about been Mike Bliss's balance at the luck bank these 10 days in Charlotte.
See what old smoke looks like in there, DW.
Let me look at him. Check him out.
Tony Stewart.
Oh, he looks tense. Looks like he's being very, very ginger with that steering wheel. He's not jacking on. Oh, got a battle for the lead here.
And remember, Casey Kane on about 20 or 25 laps older tires than Brian Vickers in the 25. Going to be hard to hold him off here.
Casey Kane's running that high, wide, and handsome groove. He's up there where all the grip is.
Darrell, a lot of folks have asked in the last 10 days, where did Brian Vickers come from? He won the Nextel Open, ran a strong top 5 in the Nextel All-Star Challenge, and tonight
outside corner, clear.
We talk about in qualifying the drivers are on the go or go home program, plus time into the race.
Good job, you the man.
From reports that Vickers may have been notified he's on the go or go home program with this race team. He needs to show results or move on.
Yeah, well, sometimes you get what I would call a wake-up call. He may have gotten one of those.
Matt?
He's opened up a little cushion between himself and Casey Kane in the 9. Now, a great race car tonight. A stellar performance by the team, but you have to be very impressed with Brian Vickers. The last 24 hours, he has taken 5 bags of an IV. He's been battling a flu-like bug for about the last 3 days, and it doesn't show it on the racetrack. He is driving the wheels off that race car.
Manny, that's not unusual. A lot of drivers have learned it on Saturday night. They go over and get them a couple of bags of fluids pumped in them to hydrate themselves for these long, hard races. So he may not be feeling well, but that's not a bad thing to do. A lot of guys do it when they're not even sick.
And remember, he ran that 300-miler last night, 900 miles in about 24 hours.
So what causes all these wrecks this season? New Aero package with a 1-inch shorter spoiler on the back of these cars. And that ties with road rage.
Well, I think it makes sense. I think it's a little bit of both. I think you've got cars that are a little unstable, and maybe the drivers are a little bit unstable.
I'm going to throw in pressure to perform.
sitting there right now watching Elliott Sadler making a move. Yeah, Brian Vickers, our leaders on pit road. We were talking about it's about time for the leaders to come to pit road. There's our first guy.
Let's rejoin Darrell, Larry, and Mike.
Vickers surrenders the lead. Interesting strategy to come on to pit road first and get out with those fresh tires, Matt.
Lance McGrew, a lap ago, said, all right, bring it on down. Let's make our final stop. A good solid stop so far by the 25 guys trying to get him out. Get this 25 machine. Rick Hendrick has seen his 24 team and 48 teams go to victory lane in this race. The 25 has never gone, Dick. They're
Jimmie Johnson on pit road now. Car number 48 making his final pit stop of the night, or at least what they hope will be. Car has been very sensitive tonight. 2 wrenches in the back of the car to adjust it, to try to make it perfect for these last few laps. This needs to be the best pit stop, Matt.
The 24 car already in. The chassis adjustment. They made a track bar adjustment up 1 round. And he is away.
Steve.
Elliott Sadler getting 4 tires. Problem on the pit stop. We can see Elliott Sadler pointing. Tough stop for Elliott Sadler.
Kevin Harvick is done. Rusty Wallace is finished. Jamie McMurray is in. So is Mark Martin and Greg Biffle. Kyle Busch getting service. And Dave Blaney, who is laps down.
And these are scheduled pit stops with 46 laps to go. This stop could be the most important, could be the last one right here, because everyone can make it to the end from here.
One car slow in turn 2. Casey Kane. Right
here's what happened. He was trying to get to pit road. He had a flat tire, or else he flat spotted his tire. He couldn't get it turned down to pit road, and here's a caution.
No caution yet. We've stayed green if he stays out of the groove, because if we get a caution here, this is going to change. And there it is. There's the caution. This is going to be a huge break for those cars that had not pitted yet.
He couldn't get down to get into pits. Everybody was going underneath him. He couldn't get down. He had to go around. That's what caused the caution.
With 45 laps to go, look who our new leader is.
Carl Edwards in the 99 car.
And what a blow to all of the Hendrick cars and everyone else who already pitted under the green flag, because most of them are going to be a lap down.
I don't know of anybody that's had more right front tire trouble than Casey Kane in a very short period of time.
Had a problem last night in the Busch Series race. Had a problem here in the fall last
Every time you turn around, he's got a right front tire blowing out.
Mike, I think we have about 17 cars on the lead lap that had not made their pit stop yet.
So it means that drivers like Jeff Gordon here, Brian Vickers in the 25, Jimmie Johnson, Greg Biffle, Mark Martin, Kevin Harvick, Elliott Sadler, Dale Jarrett, Rusty Wallace, Jeremy Mayfield are all a lap down. If they do not pit under this caution and move up behind the pace car, they'll be on the tail end of the lead lap when we restart, and they'll need another caution flag to cycle back around into contention.
And there's no question that's what they'll do. They just made that pit stop. They'll stay out there. They'll stay behind the pace car and hope to get a caution.
Now I'm buying into Lance McGrew's strategy. He was the leader. He pitted. Monkey see, monkey do. Fresh tires are better. When you come out, when the leader pits, everybody pits. So he pits first, comes out. Guess what? Caution flag. He gets the free pass.
Back to the lead lap. But they're out to start at the tail end of the longest line. But he's back on the lead lap.
Not going to be that long now.
No. Dick?
Well, if anybody has been on pit road tonight, it's been Tony Stewart. It seems as if every time there's a caution flag, he brings the Home Depot car onto pit road. The crew has done a fine job all night. He's gotten faster and better as the night has gone on. To Matt.
Dick, no chassis adjustments from Carl Edwards in the 99. A little clean off the grill, and he is away. And my, how this race has changed for the 99 team.
Edwards from 0 to hero in the space of 500 miles.
Who the hero is on that pit stop was his crew, because they win the battle of the cars that came to pit road that time.
So the 9 leaders, we'll see. We'll cycle through after things update when they come around. There's one of them, Bobby Labonte. Steve?
And Mike, give Bobby Labonte a lot of credit in this situation. Steve Addington, his crew chief, told him to pit, but Bobby said, let's wait a lap. I can see the 9. He's got a flat tire. So they stayed out, and he is the beneficiary of his veteran judgment.
Labonte smelled a caution. Like that little wisp of smoke leading to the volcano.
Yeah, he may have been able to see that the 9 could not get down into the pit lane, and so that was a good call.
And I think that's that experience right there.
Yeah, and so now, as bad of luck as Joe Gibbs has had for the last 10 days, things are turning around a little bit. Here he is. He couldn't get into his pit. He couldn't get into the pits. Right there, I think he just had a soft right front tire. He may have flat spotted that tire trying to get slowed up to get to pit road, and that's what blew it out. But nonetheless, he could not get down into the pit lane.
Kane's going to come back into the pits along with Dale Earnhardt Jr., Mike Wallace, Dave Blaney, and Dale Jarrett and Travis Quaffle. Caution is out. 42 laps left to race. "29 laps. 43 miles to go. Nemechek takes him to the green flag. Bobby Gordon with a run. He's under Jeff Green. He's coming in that blue number 7. Boy, he's been fun to watch tonight.
Well, you know, he's had a fast car a lot tonight.
And Jeff Green in the 43 car, how many times have we seen that? Got up there, got loose, had to get out of the throttle. He's going to lose 3 or 4 positions here.
An underdog, Kevin LePage.
I'm telling you, riffraff's turning the wrenches tonight.
Dare I say it? No need to fear.
And
underdog is right there.
Had that great run at Daytona to start the season off, and it's been a little rough road since then, but making up for it tonight. 27 to go.
I don't think we've had our last caution based on that right there. I don't think we've had our last caution. There it goes up in the turn 2.
Jeff Green.
Jeff Green.
Might have got the wall or might have just got way up high.
He got hit and pushed up. I don't know if he hit the wall or not. He's lean and green.
Quick look at the video says no. He did not contact the wall.
4 wide.
And all these are lead left cars, and most of them have fresh tires from that last caution.
Well, Jimmie Johnson and Jeff Gordon, they see the leader, Joe Nemechek, getting away, and they are 6 seconds behind.
And they're running out of time.
Yep, it's got to go time.
And they're running out of space.
We talked about this a lot, Darrell. These guys have fresh tires, but you get back there, it's hard to go anywhere, even with the fresh tires.
Especially when they're running two abreast all the way around the track right now.
Bobby Labonte, the 18's finally going to clear the lap car of Rusty Wallace in the 2, but he puts the crossover, which is good news for our leader, Joe Nemechek, in the 01.
Every time somebody's been out front, like Joe is now, they just check out.
Over 150,000 seats, nobody's sitting in them.
It's just like I said before this race ever started. No one has a clear-cut advantage tonight. It's the most unpredictable crowd I've seen.
Steve.
And Mike, Bobby Gordon thinks he may have a right front tire going flat. Right front.
Well, if he runs into Scott Wimmer 2 more times, he will be flat.
I think he could drive it with a right front flat the way he's been tonight. I don't know how you know what's wrong with when it's beat up like that thing is.
Loses the position to Scott Wimmer in the 22. Jeremy Mayfield in the 19 is going to go by him on the high side, as well as Kevin LePage in the 37.
But no matter what happens to Robbie tonight, what a great turnaround for his team.
Well, now he's about to be caught. Oh, trouble! Brian Vickers got in the back of one car, turned it sideways. Jeff Gordon's in it. Bill Elliott.
Martin, the 6.
Bill Elliott was the car that Vickers got into.
Kevin Harvick in the 29.
And the rest of the field.
Mark Martin and Kevin Harvick torn up. And we have just broken the all-time record for caution flags on a NASCAR race, as Bill Elliott ends up in the fence, and I believe the first contact was Brian Vickers and Bill Elliott. A bunch of drivers on fresh tires fighting to get back to the front as the laps wound down, trying hard, maybe too hard.
Not a lot of damage on Jeff Gordon's car, the 24. Just a little bit here and there everywhere.
Yeah, but I think
Front fenders rolled in a little bit, looks like.
You're rolling now, Lance. You're rolling.
Watch the left of your screen. There's Vickers, there's Elliott.
just a little bump right there, like a bump draft, almost like what Dale Jr. did to Michael earlier and what Carl Edwards did to Dale Jarrett going down the back. Just a little bump and away they go, wrecking everywhere.
Now Mark Martin hit the wall hard. Elliott Sadler had a couple of brushes with disaster, but was able to drive through.
I think he may have got some damage on the left front fender, possibly. Right there.
Gordon hits the ball on the outside down here and then gets hit by another car right there. He has to have quite a bit of damage.
Pace truck's about to come in, and we're going to run 14 laps and try to finish this off. Chevrolets, Nemechek and Labonte. The Ford of Carl Edwards, the Dodge of pole sitter Ryan Newman back in contention. Truex, Burton, Wimmer, Mayfield, LePage. Who's going to win the Coke 600?
For the most part, everybody got a pretty clean restart.
One driver who won't win it is Jeff Gordon. He came in here third in points. His car's in the garage. Good news for his teammate Terry Labonte, who was transported to a local hospital for observation. Terry has been released. He's okay.
Right now, our leader, Joe Nemechek, in the 01 car will be coming to 13 laps to go. He has Jamie McMurray in the 42 car in front of him. Jamie is at the tail end of the lead lap. Little fresher tires than our leader, Joe Nemechek.
Yeah, and Jamie needs to, if he can go on and get away from Joe, that's fine. But if he can't, pretty soon here, he needs to think about getting out of the way.
20 miles to go. Jeff Burton backing up in the 31.
I saw sparks. I don't know if he's got a tire going down or not, but he saw he had some sparks coming out of it over on turn 2.
But I tell you what, boys, the car that just went by him, Jimmie Johnson, that 48 car, he has very fresh tires, and he is on the move, but we only have 12 laps to go.
Yeah, I think he's got a fast car, Larry, but I don't think he's got time to get there based on what we've seen tonight.
He's in 8th place, and he is just 2 seconds off the lead, but a lot of cars to pass to get there. Dick?
Well, Biffle just came on the radio and said he has a flat tire. He'll be coming in to get that changed, Mike.
Of course, Greg Biffle comes in here second in the points behind leader Jimmie Johnson, the 48.
I believe the 31 has a problem, too, based on what we saw there a second ago.
He's coming to pit road, in fact. 11 to go.
As for Biffle, guess that National Guard helmet didn't turn out to be a lucky charm for car owner Jack Roush. Let's go to the leader's pit. Here's Matt.
But the Army cars out front is Ryan Pepperton, who won at Kansas. 17 races to go. It's sizing up. Can your man hold him off?
Well, I mean, he's doing a great job right now. We got 10 to go. We got about 20 car length lead. Joe can do it. We got all the faith in the world in him.
Talk about major dedication. The day after Richmond, Rob went in for major back surgery. The doctor said, you need to stay out 3 weeks. He stayed out 3 days, was back at work. That's dedication.
Jimmie Johnson, though, is coming. Oh, car in the wall. Hard and coming down into the traffic. The leader, Nemechek, has crashed.
Off the wall. Keep it off the wall. He put oil down. Sorry. I blew a right rear.
Right rear tire for Nemechek. Caution flag 22.
Scott Wimmer in the 22 car, involved in it as well.
You can see the right rear down on the 01 car, Nemechek. You heard him say he blew a right rear. I tell you who this falls right in their hands, though. 48. He's there now. Here goes Joe. I mean, he's out there just sailing along. You see the car wobble? Round she goes.
And Jimmie Johnson almost T-boned him as Nemechek slid down the track.
I'm not sure about that. I guess the tire was soft. I don't know that it was. Couldn't tell if it was flat or not, but I guess it was soft. Oh boy!
Jimmie Johnson and Ryan Newman both
going in turn 3.
Look at the lead Nemechek had over Bobby Labonte. Cruise control, and then this.
Yeah, he was beating Bobby Labonte by a couple of tenths a lap at that point right there.
I hate to say this, but pull those belts up one more time.
Yeah, I'm not going to say boogity, boogity, boogity.
No.
I know that. They've done that all night long.
See Bobby Labonte bringing them down to 55 miles per hour. There'll be 5 to go here. Gaining speed, gaining speed. About 115 miles per hour as he takes the green flag.
Bobby Labonte trying to win for the first time since Homestead, Florida, November of 2003. Carl Edwards trying for his second win of his season and career.
Johnson can't be held up very long. If he's going to win this race, he's got to go and go hard.
Side by side with Brian Newman in the 12 car off into turn 3. You can see how hard he's driving that car. She's bottomed out. Be 4 to go this time.
And Carl Edwards just got all sideways down there in the middle of 3 and 4, and that's going to hurt him. And here comes Jimmie Johnson. Edwards
is going to start big picture racing as Johnson moves to the inside for second. And Jimmie Johnson's three-peat is 1 spot away.
I think that he's probably got enough steam and enough time now to get the job done. Bobby, don't look back, but he is gaining and coming fast.
Johnson closing on Labonte. Looks like Carl Edwards closing on Jimmie Johnson in Atlanta. It took a bold move by Edwards to win. What'll happen here?
Well, here they come, Larry.
3 to go this time.
4 laps, buddy. 34.
Labonte just ran the fastest lap he's ran in this race right there at lap 397.
He's going to have to run 3 more just like it.
No, he's going to have to pick up about 2/10.
Biffle moves up to 6 past Martin Truex. But it's all for the win right here.
Boy, Jimmie Johnson just drives it down there in the 3 and 4. Fresher tires to the high side. They'll almost be side by side off turn 4.
Cross under move by Johnson. No room. Labonte blocks him.
2 to go, man. 2 to go. Be smart.
Be smart. Take your time. You got plenty of time, I think. Easy for me to say.
Boy, Labonte is good at the south end of the speedway.
Boy, that was impressive right there to hold Jimmie off.
They stayed pretty even. Right here's where he got to run the last time. They'll be coming to the white flag this time.
He's going to hold him off, Larry. I think he can do it.
But Johnson is good off turn 4, and if he can get alongside, and Labonte
I have to go, buddy. It's all you.
right to the grass to hold him off. Last time.
He can't do it. I don't believe he can do it unless Bobby messes up.
There he goes to the bottom, Darrell. They're going to be side by side off turn 2. Bobby's on the half side.
You can't pass over there. There's no way.
All clear. 1 last charge right here, man.
It's all over, boys.
Was that the last best move made too soon?
Here he comes. Outside, outside.
Just like in Atlanta last March. He's not going to be able to do it, I don't think. They're side by side.
Here he comes.
Jimmie
Hey, baby, bring it.
48 car.
He did it. 3 in a row. Jimmie Johnson.
By 2/100ths of a second.
I thought when he got beat off of turn 2, it was all over, but he drove it in on the outside and won it.
Boy, was that worth staying up late for, or what?
Incredible.
A clean pass by Jimmie Johnson, looking just like Carl Edwards' move on Johnson at Atlanta, a very similarly shaped racetrack.
But you got to give an attaboy to Bobby Labonte. Man, what a job.
Good job, Crazy. Good job, Jimmie. Good job, 48 crew.
And Darrell, the best thing about all that, they ran each other clean.
Yes, they did.
You can depend on Bobby Labonte.
Look at Bobby's car. It still doesn't have a mark on it after 400 laps, 600 miles.
Pretty good decision to put FedEx on that car tonight.
I'd say so.
They delivered.
Congratulations, Jimmie Johnson. The pass to the win. How sure were you that your car was going to stick on the outside and not crash?
I lost one earlier this year to Carl Edwards that way, and I knew if I could get to Bobby's quarter and get a spotter to stay outside, I would have the momentum back to the start-finish line. But I got a little impatient when we took the white. I made a pretty bonsai pass underneath them in 1 and 2, and I lost a bunch of momentum, got sideways, and I thought I lost it. But I went into turn 3 a little mad and determined and made it stick around the outside and beat him back to the start-finish line. This is a very, very special win today.
3 other wins here at Lowes. Is this the biggest?
Yeah, 3. I mean, 3 here. 3 600s. I mean, that's just amazing for this Hendrick Motorsports team, Lowes, all their employee owners, everyone involved. It's been a tough month for us. Tonight was a tough race for us. We didn't have the best car until the end when it mattered. But these guys over here worked real hard. Chad worked hard. Everybody got this thing right, and Man, I can't believe we're here. How about almost hitting the 01? Did you see that? If I go back, ask Chad to bring me clean underwear over here. He hasn't shown up yet, so I don't know what's going on.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.